Okay, I'm sitting on the front porch. It's a very rainy day, basically for the third day in the row. And we've had a lot of rain for 3 days in a row. But what I want to talk about is, I guess it's centering around our freedom, how we have the freedom to really be our unique self and just express ourselves from our authenticity, being who we are no matter what, program, policy, other people's suggestions or their experience. It's just that we have the freedom to be who we are from our authenticity and to not be feeling guilty or judged, condemned about anything, but to allow ourselves to have that freedom. And where I'm going to come from is St. Luke, and it's chapter 15, verses 11 through 32. St. Luke chapter 15, verse 11 through 32. And this is regarding the prodigal son. And I want to come at it from another angle. What if the prodigal son, okay, before I spoiler alert, let's just get to it. Okay, a certain man had two sons. Okay, a certain man has two sons. And we're going to look at this spiritually, literally. Let's go outside of the box and let's see it from different perspectives. Again, St. Luke chapter 15, verse 11 through 32. And I'm coming from the opposite side. Like, what if? Okay, a certain man had two sons, and the younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me my portion of goods that falleth to me." Like, give me my inheritance now. Whatever you're promising us, give it to me now. And so the father divided unto them his living. So the father gave him his inheritance now. So what this is telling me, we're able to tap into our inheritance now. Whatever the Father God has promised us, we're able to receive that now. We don't have to wait until the high and by in the sky to receive our promises of God. We can receive our blessings now. Okay, so that's the first thing I kind of see. We're blessed, and we can receive our blessings right now. So the father gave it to this younger son. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country. So he done took his, let's just say, all his money and ran. He done left. And there wasted his substance with riotous living. So he took all his blessings, all his money, and what? Did the wrong thing with it. He lived riotously. He wasted it. And we don't have to describe how a person can waste their goods, their life, their body. You took all the blessings and ran with it, but we didn't do the right thing with it. We wasted it. And again, we don't have to describe what area of wasting or what type of wasting, whatever, mind, body, spirit, life, whatever, we wasted it. And when he had spent all, there arose, when he spent, now he done got down to rock bottom. He done wasted his life. He done wasted his mind. He done wasted all his finances, all whatever, again, we could call our blessings. If we don't handle it the right way, we're wasting it. But it's freely given to us. We could take it and do as we will. That's the free will, the freedom we have. So now it rolls about a famine in the land. Now there's starvation in the land. He don't have any more money, no more possessions, no more nothing. Now it's at rock bottom. No cash flows, no nothing. So he began to want, to be in want. Now he's starving. Now he it's a life or death situation. Now you don't know what to do. You don't have everything that you used to have. You at rock bottom. So what did this son do? So he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country. That citizen could be a person. That citizen could be an organization. That citizen can be a government. That citizen could be a religion. That citizen could be a belief. That citizen could be anything that you think can save you. Reaching out to anything, anybody, any source, any belief that you think will save you. You feeling like you have no choice. So let me join this citizen. And he sent him into his fields to feed the swine. Now that citizen that this younger son went to, he sent him to feed the swine. That's like bottom of the bottom. You're not giving me what I need to sustain my life or to rebuild my life or to give me even hope. Swine in the Bible is like an abomination, something totally disrespecting God, you. So the swine is like lowest of the lowest. Total disrespect. You're using me. You're sending me now to feed the swine. Now I got to feed what is an abomination. Now I've got to submit and give my life over to something that's making me feel like the worst of the worst. It didn't give me hope. It didn't give me inspiration. It didn't give me life. It's making me feel worse than where I was, feeling already bottom. Lowest of the lowest, rock bottom. So when he came to himself, he woke up. He woke up and realized, hey, I'm not going to keep disrespecting me. Disrespecting where I know what I had, how I had it, but I took it and did the opposite of good. I took it and squandered it and wasted it and got in a very bad, worse situation. Now I'm going to a source that's going to make me feel even worse. A source, people, person, place, or system, government, whatever. Now you feel even worse. It's not feeding you life. In your spirit, you're feeling even worse. But now you're waking up to yourself. Hey. So what did this younger son say when he finally woke up? He said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I'm sitting here starving, and my father got servants, and they not starving. You ran from your father. You ran from who you were. You forgot where you come from. You forgot all of the blessings and where those blessings came from. We forgot. So he had to wake up and remember. Not only that I'm a child of the Father, but my Father got servants and they're not starving. What am I doing here feeding swine? So, let's see. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed the swine. To me, I look at that, if in my mindset, from where I've come from, I look at that as, no, I'll keep that to myself. So he would fain have filled his belly with husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. So he started eating even what the swine was eating. Not only are you in there with the swine, waddling in the mud, waddling in the whatever they're eating, now you're resulting to eating what they're eating. How low can this thing keep going? So he woke up. He like, what the hell am I doing? Eating what the swine eat and about to starve, and my father got servants and they're not starving. So he got an idea. He woke up. Finally, you're waking up like, what am I doing? This isn't me. I'm living a life that is miserable. I'm starving. Whether that's starving literally or starving inwardly, you're starving. You're not fulfilled in this life. You feel like you're living like swine, like nobody loves you, like nobody cares. But you wake up. So when he came to himself, how many hired servants of the fathers have bread enough to spare? So now he's going to go beg servants of the father. That's your father. What, you feel like you done did wrong and you can't go back to your father because you done took all what he gave you and wasted it. But now you're feeling like you can't go back. Because what do you feel going to happen if you go back to your father, to the source of your joy, your happiness? You had it all. I will arise and go to my father and will say unto him. So thank you. He woke up and realized, I got to go back to my father. Even as he put me as a servant, I'm going to serve him. But we have to realize we're not servants. We are gods and goddesses. We are children of the Most High. We are made in his image. We are a representation of the Father, of the Creator. Don't consider ourselves servants. I have sinned against heaven and before thee. So this is what he's going to say to the Father. He's going back home. He's going back to the Father. So, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. See the mindset? Even though he want to come back to the Father, he still haven't risen to the mindset. You like father, like son. You are a image representation of your Father. You carry that signature, that name of your Father. You've been giving the blessings as gods and goddesses. Ye are gods. You're not servants. He woke up to go to the Father, but you still got to come to the realization you're not a servant. Okay, and let's see. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet great a way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. So that show you, I guess this is where I want to get to. That's where I want to get to. I'm not going to go further, but there's a lot of meat in this that we can digest. But this son felt like he had did the worst thing, took all his inheritance, his money, his blessings, his gifts, whatever. He took them and misused them and squandered them and went into famine, lost everything, had nothing, lost hope, lost the spirit of life, just felt like the bottom of the bottom. And then he woke up and came to himself when he saw that he done got so low where he eating even what swine eat. And again, in the Bible, they consider the swine back in them days as an abomination. How low can you go? So he woke up to himself and said, I'm going back to my father. At least I can be a servant. But his father saw him coming. His father already knew what he was doing. He was younger. He knew that he didn't have the wisdom and the knowledge and the foundation, the anchor to go out there on his own in this life. He knew he was younger. So the father gave him what he asked for and allowed him. This is again where I want to get to. We have the freedom God has freely given us, and freely we should be able to receive from the Father. And even if we did mess up to the lowest of the lowest, we can always come back to our Father and that inheritance. There is no lack of our inheritance. Excuse me. Leave my throat alone. Throat, you get in line. Get in line with what is coming forward. Get in alignment. There is no lack of the inheritance of what we have received of the Spirit of our Father. No lack. So the thing I want to also center on is that what if that prodigal son took all his inheritance, This reminds me of the birds when the mother birds see that it's time to kick them out of the nest, so that bird can learn to fly. God knows who's ready to soar. We have the freedom to take our inheritance, all of our gifts and blessings of the Father, of the Spirit, and to go out and live. The Father has those of us that He knows we're ready to fly. We're ready to soar. But some of us are afraid to spread our wings. We don't need anybody to teach us. We don't need rules, regulations, policies. Some of us can go and not be afraid to live off of the grid, because we've grown. The Father knows that we trust Him. We have an anchor. We're grounded. We're able to detach from the sources of this world, the sources of depending on people, depending on jobs, depending on the economy. The Father knows we have that filling of His Spirit to allow us to receive our inheritance and be free. But are we free enough to believe that we can be trusted with the inheritance? It's in our hands. But we may have had to go around that mountain over and over again to learn lessons to be trusted with our inheritances, with our blessings, with our gifts, with whatever God gave us to be a good steward over. Have we learned the lesson to be trusted now to go out and fly and soar? Because what if that son would have done the right things with his inheritance? God set him free. That's like when a child turns 18, some of the parents, time to get on your own. Hopefully that parent have given the foundation to survive out there, to learn how to trust, to learn how to make it on your own, but not just be kicked out and now you feel like a dog let loose on a chain. Of course we're going to go wild and crazy. We've never had to face the world's trials and characteristics and beliefs, systems, because we were raised under a rock. But if God has been allowed to awaken our spirit and to raise us up in the ways of how His system is, it's going to come a time God going to say, be free. You're free. Some of us can make the decision to go before He snatched the rug from under us and learn, for us to learn, act as God, be as God. You have my nature. You know me. You know what I would do in certain situations. You know how to reason your thoughts. You know how to keep your emotions intact. You know how to do things in moderation. It comes a time God is going to say, go and be me, represent me in this world. We're free. Whether we want to take our blessings before we know we are matured, because he was younger. He hadn't matured in the things of the Father, of the ways of this world, how they act and the ways of the enemy, the ways of smiles in your face, but could be having the ways of how to know what's going on, seeing behind the scene. He hadn't matured in those areas. But he's free enough to take all his possessions and leave. That's the freedom we have. But now that son, realizing he hadn't learned how to survive out there in the world. So now he's come back to the Father, not coming back getting what you deserve because you done squandered all your blessings. Now you got to pay for what you did. The world done did that to him already. You gotta pay. You stay out there, you're gonna reap what you sow. But when we come back to the Father, where sin abound, grace much more abound. We never lost our connection. We never lost favor. We never lost the love, the mercy. We never lost it. So never feel ashamed, guilty, condemned to come back to where you know life was feeding you. Because the Father ran to him, seen him way afar off, and ran to him and grabbed him and kissed him. And it also said put a ring on his finger or a robe around him or somewhat. You never lost nothing with the Father. We did it to ourselves when we took all our blessings and did the wrong thing. But what if we take all these blessings and go and be free? Do it your way. How do you want to live your life with the Father? Nothing to tell you when to eat, when to sleep, when to do this, how to do this, what to... No, we're free. I pray those who have ears to hear, let them hear. And I believe I'll stop right there. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I believe I could stop right there. Oh, I also wrote down, God didn't make us robots. Or he didn't create us to be anybody else's robots. We're free. Have a blessed day.